Okay, so first, before we start, let's just get to know our pieces. So this is a pawn. You have 8 of these. Rook, this is a rook, and you always have 2 of these. The knight, 2 of these. Bishop, 2 of these. And then 1 queen and a king. You guys how to play chess for beginners. So first we can start off with the pieces and how they move. So this is a pawn. So in a game of chess, white always moves first. So pawns can either move 1 or 2, but they can only move 2 on the first move of that piece. So if I already moved this once, the game goes on, and then I can't move it 2 again. I can only move it 1. And pawns, how they capture is that the only way they can capture is diagonally, like this. So they don't capture like in front of the piece. They don't capture like this. No, that's wrong. They capture diagonally always. Unless for a move en passant, but I'll make a video on that later because it's more of a advanced move for advanced players. So the next piece would be the rook here. The rook either moves horizontal or vertical. So it either moves up, side, down, left, right. And it's good to know that there are always you always have 8 pawns, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, a queen, and a king. So now the knight is the only piece on the board that can jump over other pieces. That's why it's a very special piece, and it has to be used very carefully. So the knight always moves in large L's, in 3 by 2 L's. And the knight captures how it moves. So it moves in L's, like this. So it also captures in L's, like this. So if the knight is in the center of the board, it has many threats. Here, 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 and here. And don't mind this here. I just have that orange pawn because I lost the original piece, so I just put that there to fill it in. And so the next piece will be the bishop. The bishop always moves diagonally on the square that it's on. So as you can see, this is my black bishop on the black square. So it always stays on the black squares and moves diagonally like this, like that. Always moves diagonal. And this is my white bishop on the white squares, which only stays on the white squares and always moves diagonally. So and now we're going to talk about the queen. So the queen is like the rook here and the bishop combined, because it can move horizontally, vertically, left and right, and also like the bishop, it can move diagonally both ways. So it's a very powerful piece, and it's a very important piece. And it's best not to take it out at the beginning of the game and keep it protected. Now I'll be showing you guys how to move the king. So the king basically moves 1 space in any direction. So if it's right here, it can move left, right, down, and up. But it cannot move in a space if the space is in check. So this pawn is threatening this square right here. So my king cannot move here. I must move away from the check, so here. And there's also a special move called castling with the king and the rook. So in order for this, all 3 pieces need to be out of this area, and the king will move 2 spaces to the left. 1, 2. And the rook will come over like this. This is called castling on the queen's side because it is on the queen's side. And it can also be done on the king's side, like this. You have to move the bishop out of the way, knight out of the way, and then 1, 2, rook comes here. So now, in order to do this move, throughout the game so far, the rook that you're doing it with, cannot be moved. So, or the king. So if I already moved my king, here and back, now I want to castle, I can't, because I already moved it. Or same with the rook. If I move my rook here, I move it back. I can't move it anymore because I can't castle anymore because I already moved it. So now, castling is a very advanced move and it's very good. It protects you from, protects your king, which is very important. So now I'll be talking about on how to win the game. So in order to win the game, you will have to put the other king in checkmate. And so what checkmate is that the king must be in check. So let's see. So let's say my king is here. Let's say this rook somehow got out. Check. I'm being threatened by the other piece, by the other team's piece, by my opponent's piece, right here. So this is a check. I can move out of this here, 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 or here. So what a checkmate is when you are in check and all your other spaces around you are all blocked off. And if none of your pieces can get in between the check, so this pawn just got in between the check, and a checkmate is if no other piece of your pieces can take the checking piece. So for example, let's see. Somehow, let's say this rook got here. Let's say this is a really awkward position. This won't ever happen in a real game, but so this is a, here, let's just, yeah. Okay, so this is a checkmate because you are in check right here and you cannot, my bad, this is a check, not a checkmate, because I'm in check here, so I can move here, but I'm also in check here. If I go here, I'm still in check. If I go here, I'm still in check. If I go here, check here from the queen, So now I have 3 things to do. So my first option was move out of check, and I couldn't move out of check because I was surrounded by the rook, queen, and rook. So my second option is to block the check with any of my pieces. And yes, I can do that with this pawn or this pawn. And a third option would be to take this checking piece, which in this case I can't. So now let's look at another case. Okay, so let's say that I'm here. Let's say here. So in order for a checkmate, I would have to be blocked off here, move here, and now this is a checkmate. This is a very classic checkmate, and you'll always see this. So this is checkmate because I'm being threatened by this piece here. I cannot get closer, still check. I cannot move up at all because the queen is blocking this whole lane off. So this is a checkmate. Thank you for watching, and subscribe and like the video if this helped you out.